Hey guys, this is SMS Productions here, and I just want to show you my diorama I made for Mega Bloks Halo. So, let me show you. Yeah, this is just the overall view. Yeah, it's pretty big. As you can see, this is my hand compared to it. Pretty big. So, down there we got a warthog.
My friends, we did it. We hit 1,000 subscribers. Genuinely, I'm still shocked at how quickly this all happened. I've only really been doing this for like, what, 4 months now? And with only 4 videos out, I did not think I was already gonna hit 1K subs. I'm super grateful to everyone who's been keeping up with my content and sticking around. You guys have me so excited to keep going forward and making new content. I have so many new ideas and videos planned every single day, so I have a lot more stuff in the works. So, in honor of hitting 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a Q&A. I've collected a bunch of your questions from last time to answer, so I'm going to be getting through all of those today in this video. And don't forget that the other 1,000 subscriber video that you guys voted for, which is the Primaris Loyalist Emperor's Children Kit Bash, is also in the works as well. So that should come out about later this month. Alright, without further ado, let's get to those questions. Alright, first question. How did you get into the hobby to begin with, and what are your favorite projects and models so far? So I got into the hobby originally from buying my first Gundam kit in high school, which would have been about 2016, and then I went full steam ahead with it once I got into college. So I'd been building Gunpla for like a few years at that point, and then around that time I started also watching some Warhammer YouTubers, so that kind of introduced me to that side of the hobby as well. And then that kind of got me interested in being like, oh yeah, I want to start painting some other stuff as well. Like Gunpla's fun and I like doing it, but mixing it up occasionally is also really good. The thing that really set me over the edge, though, was watching Eons of Battle. I think he did a video showcasing his Necron army at the time. This would have been 3 years ago. And seeing that whole army just kind of together and painted, and him being all excited about it and being like, oh, this is my army. I made it this way. I painted it this way. I customized this guy and this guy. That was kind of my catalyst to be like, oh, shit, okay. I really want to do this now. And literally, I think that day, I messaged my high school friend and I was like, hey, do you want to play Warhammer? I'll buy the starter set. And he's like, yeah, sure. And then the rest is history, basically. And some of my favorite projects and models so far. So the first one would be the custom Grey Knight's Dread Knight that I 3D printed some alternate parts for to make it less look like a baby carrier. I think this guy was really cool. He's almost done. I do have to do a couple more effects on him, but for the most part, he's pretty much fully painted. Obviously, an easy answer is the Space Marine HQ that I just painted for the video. Definitely one of my favorite painted models that I've ever done. I also learned a lot from that video as well, so that was also a really nice touch to it. My Seraphon Spearhead is another one that I really like. It was a big change from painting 40k, which is a lot of armor and weapons and like metal. So painting actual, creatures was a big change of pace, and that was a lot of fun. I also love dinosaurs and paleontology, so this was also a kind of cool project to have. Some of these Gundam high-grade kits as well. These are kind of the few that I've really painted in more recent times. So these have a lot more of my modern skill level. These ones are really cool. I learned a lot about color schemes and especially weathering. I went a lot into enamel washes and like dust effects with these, so I think those are really cool to work on as well. And then I guess my 2 final ones are these 2 contest entries I did for a Gundam competition. The one on the left is the first one that I did back in 2023. And then the one on the right is the one I entered in 2024. The first one I got 3rd place in my category. It's the other one I got 2nd place in my category. So that was really, really cool to see. It's basically just a contest that my local convention holds every year. I didn't enter one in 2025, unfortunately, but those 2 years I did, and I do plan on doing more in the future. What was the first model you ever painted, and how did you paint it? Copium to make me feel like I can get as good as you. Well, first off, let me say, you can be good. I don't think I'm very good, so I don't know how much that really says, but you will always be good. Just keep on practicing, keep at it. You will be good. And the first model I ever painted, I'll show one for Gundam and I'll show one for Warhammer. So the first model I technically painted was the RG GP01 Gundam kit. There's no actual paint job on it per se, but it's essentially just weathering it on top of the bare plastic, which I don't know how this didn't like destroy the plastic, because this is just straight up artist oil paints and those are not good for bare plastic. So I'm shocked it's still in one piece. Not the best weathering job. I definitely come a long way since then. Like I think I made this is the kit that I bought, I think, the day before I started college, and then I built it the first day of college. So I was literally using in my art. I went to art school, and we got a big art kit on the first day, and oil paints were one of them. So I literally went home after picking up my art kit my first day at college, put this guy on my kitchen table, started building him, and then I took all the oil paints and just kind of slathered them on, and I was like, yeah, this is weathering. Doesn't look very good now, but at the time, I felt pretty cool about it. First model that I properly painted though was the Master Grade GM Sniper 2, which is one of my favorite Gundam kits and one of my favorite mobile suits in general. This guy had a full paint job. This was pre-airbrush as well, so this was all with aerosol spray cans. So he's originally blue, and I spray painted him all white with like a snow kind of camo. And this was the first time I think I really kind of locked in a little bit with the weathering. I kind of understood how paint chipping worked and doing some streaks. Again, not great by my current standards, I think. I think I've definitely improved a lot since then. But at the time, this was one of those like evolution projects. Like I knew after finishing it, I was like, okay, I learned a lot from this. And then the first Warhammer miniature I ever painted was one of the, I think it was Series 1 of Space Marine Heroes. I got a blind box from that after going to a local GW to look for some paints for Gundam. And I guess this could also be one of the first catalysts that got me into Warhammer. So I basically, just bought him. I painted him up. Again, I think this was also before I had an airbrush. So I sprayed him with just an aerosol can and then did a little bit of hand painting on him. And yeah, that was the first ever Warhammer miniature I ever painted. Would you rather be a goose or a duck? Canadian geese are fucking scary, so definitely not that. I'd say a duck. Thoughts on the SC2 tabletop game aimed to release in 26? I assume by SC2 you mean StarCraft 2. I've never actually played StarCraft, surprisingly, but it's really cool seeing it get a tabletop game. I'm really liking this trend of a lot of video games getting tabletop game adaptations. I think that's really cool. And also, I think the gameplay of StarCraft kind of lends itself well to being a war game, so I think that's going to play super naturally. I've never played it, but my friend definitely is a fan, so let me ask him. Thoughts on the Matrix movies, and why do you think the third one is the best? Also, congrats. First of all, thank you. I appreciate it. And second of all, this may be crazy, but I've actually never seen the Matrix movies. There's a shocking amount of really big movies that people will be like, oh yeah, it's good, right? And I'm like, oh, never seen it. So I actually can't really give a proper answer on that, but I will watch them just for you, I promise. What army/faction in 40k are you most looking forward to customizing and kit bashing, and why is it orcs? Well, brother, you took the answer right out of my mouth, because orcs was the answer I was going to give. I've always thought that if I did a hypothetical orc army, I'd really want to kit bash them in like a cyberpunk kind of like crime syndicate, like sci-fi style. I kind of did that with the orc video that I did already, to a degree, more so with the bases. But I always thought it'd be really cool to just have like a fully customized orc army where even like every single bit of infantry is customized and kind of like, you know, covered in like cyberpunk, like robotic limbs and tattoos. You know, get the crazy, like the faux hawks and the crazy like 80s hair. I think it's something I still want to do. I don't know if I'll do a full orc army because I do have a lot of armies already and I shouldn't have another one. But if I ever started like a small orc army, I think I definitely would. And I do have plans to do orc content on this channel as well because orcs are just so fun to paint and customize. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, orcs. Orcs are fun. Have you got any Age of Sigmar armies? And if not, are you interested in it? And which armies look the best to you? Yeah, I do. Right now I'm working on my Seraphon, which I kind of mentioned earlier in the video. Right now I only have my Spearhead fully built and I have all these other boxes that I still have to build and paint. I actually managed to get, I forget what year it was. I think it was 2023 or 2024, where the Seraphon kind of had their whole, like, just before 4th edition, Seraphon had their big, like, army refresh, and they got that cool limited edition box. I actually managed to find that a year after it was released on a local seller's list for what it sold for retail. So I saw that, and I'm like, okay, I have to get that. So I got that. I have the Spearhead. And I have a couple other like individual kits. Like I think I have some skinks still in the box. I have the Raptidon Riders, I think they're called, built and primed. I just have to paint them. I think that's it. I don't remember if I have any more boxes. I gotta look through my backlog, but but I do have them. And I also have the Gloomspite Git Spearhead along with a few other random units as well. Those guys I purposely haven't played or painted yet because I want to save those for a video. I have a lot of cool plans for that army specifically in terms of how I'm gonna paint them. I think that'd make for a really fun video. So those guys are being saved for that, but they are built, just not based or painted or primed or anything. I'm saving that all for a video. For armies I'm also interested in, there's a few. Realistically, I'd probably only get the Spearheads for them since Spearhead is just really fun on its own. But for me, Night Haunt for sure. Keep your eyes peeled for that actually as well, because I do have a plan for an October Halloween themed video regarding Night Haunt. The Auric War Clans are pretty cool as well. And I guess even a few of the Chaos armies. I think Magonkin of Nurgle, definitely. I'm a big Nurgle fan, so I think they would be a cool Chaos army to build. Happy to be a part of the first 500 club. Happy to have you here, friend. Will you be doing a video about your other hobbies like Gunpla? Oh, absolutely. I kind of started this channel off on Warhammer since I feel like I can make more content with it at the start, but I absolutely want to throw Gundam and other model kits and dioramas and cosplay all in there as well, even some other tabletop games. Gundam is my first love, so I definitely want to see some of those in the future on the channel. Warhammer I think will always kind of be the main focus, but I absolutely will be throwing in the odd other model kit and cosplay in whatever video, just at random. So those will definitely be coming as well. What types of colors do you like working with for any medium, not just miniature painting? For me, I feel like I'm a mix between really dark and desaturated colors or really, really like very vibrant colors. I find I work with either or and like no in between. But if I had to choose, I think vibrant colors are more fun for me. Especially for digital art, that's kind of how I tend to go. I really like a lot of poppy, vibrant colors. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're more fun to work with. What's your least favorite model you own, and would you rather have fingers for toes or toes for fingers? I honestly don't know if I have a least favorite. I find even bad models I can usually find some good in, especially really old models, and sometimes they can be a bit charming. But if I had to choose, my Necron Immortals maybe. I liked painting them, but those guys are absolute hell to assemble. And fingers for toes, for sure. Congrats on 1K, thank you. What 40k or Age of Sigmar army would you start if you had to start again? Oof, man, that's a good question. I do have multiple armies for each game, so I'll try to exclude those from my answer if I was starting over. For 40k, I think Orcs would be my pick. They were kind of one of my choices I was considering before I actually started playing. So I think Orcs for 40k. And Age of Sigmar probably Night Haunt or Magonkin of Nurgle. Congrats, thank you. What is your favorite pasta and what Space Marine chapter best represents that? Orecchiette, 1000%. And I think one that represents a Space Marine, I'd say Imperial Fists. Orecchiette are really good structurally sound pasta that can hold a lot of meat and sauce. And Imperial Fists seem like they're a good match for that. They're being strong, bulky, and very like fortified. So I'd say that. Congrats, thank you. What was your first tabletop game battle and how did it go? First of all, just want to say thank you to C-Top Tabletop, friend of the channel. And to answer your question, so other than the starter set missions, my first proper game of 40k was, from my memory, just using the combat patrols in a 500-point game against one of my friends. And this was in 9th edition, so this was before Combat Patrol had its own rules. This was just straight up like unbalanced versus unbalanced. So we played in my, oh, sorry, you know what it was? It was Combat Patrol mixed with a couple extra units that we both bought. So I had like the starter set Necrons and the Combat Patrol, and then I think I had the Doomstalker as well. And then my friend had the Combat Patrol Orcs. I think he had a squad of Orc boys, and then like one other Orc vehicle, I forget. So it was about a 1,000-point battle, I think. And yeah, we just played in my basement. We barely knew the rules. I think we screwed up a lot. Like we thought wounds would carry over. So like we had full squads just dying turn one. We didn't have proper terrain. So we were like building walls out of like Lego and like cardboard and like bowls and plates and all this other crap. Yeah, no, it was funny though. And yeah, 9th edition again was very complicated compared to 10th. So like we extra didn't know the rules. But yeah, to my memory, that was the first proper 40k game that I played. Is there a painting technique and style that you want to learn? This might be a more silly answer, but I'd love to learn how to paint a cel-shaded style on model kits. That's usually how I do my digital art, and I love 80s and 90s anime where that style was like super prevalent and noticeable. So I think that'd be a really fun challenge to paint some like miniatures, like purely cel-shaded. I've seen a lot of people do it on like Gundam kits, and that's something I've also wanted to try. But I feel like doing it on a more, I shouldn't say more three-dimensional, but like, you know, Gundam is a lot of like flat surfaces, and you have the anime to use as reference images. But for something like a Space Marine, you don't really have that sort of reference to use. So I think painting one of those in a cel-shaded style would be really, really cool. I might actually do that as a video one day. I think that'd be fun. Some lore about your minis you made, your own lore, or the IRL lore for the reason you made that mini. Something to give you an excuse to nerd out about your cool stuff. And when are we gonna get more lore on your dudes? I think it'd be neat for a background audio while you build some. Oh man, so these two questions are pretty similar, so I'm gonna answer both. Don't worry, believe me, there's a lot going on behind the scenes in terms of like world building and like lore building for these guys. But I don't want to really reveal much until I have it like solidified. And I kind of want to wait until the first 1,000 points are made. That way I can do like a big video of all of them together. And I also do want to make a chapter master as well. I think I have the model bought already that I'm going to use for that. I won't say what it is, but I do have it bought. So I think once that 1,000 points is done, I may do a chapter master as like a big video, and that's when I'll kind of do a big lore drop. So don't worry, that is absolutely in the works. Congrats on 1K, thank you. Is there any tabletop strategy game that you want to get into? And congrats on hitting 1K, thank you again. I've been loving all your videos so far. I'd like to ask if there were any war games other than Warhammer that you either have or would like to dip your toes into. There's definitely a few. Trench Crusade is probably the biggest one at the moment. I recently bought their starter pack for the Iron Sultanate. I think they're probably the faction I'm going to try out. So I have that bought and I'm printing them at the moment, so I definitely want to do a video on that as well at some point. I also have the starter set for Halo Flashpoint. I've been a huge Halo fan ever since I was a kid. So it having its own tabletop game now is like so cool to me. Again, that is absolutely saved for a video as well. I'm going to save that for a kind of bigger style special, so that will show up on the channel eventually as well. I've played it a few times so far, but haven't had the chance to go back to it yet. It's really fun. I definitely want to try it more, and they just released ODSTs as an expansion, which I am like the biggest nerd of. In fact, 2 of my cosplays are ODSTs. I'll flash some photos on screen. So with all the new stuff coming out as well, I think I'm going to just go fucking head first into this game now because there's so much cool stuff. Battletech as well, absolutely. I'm a Gundam fan, so as a fan of that, I love mechs in general, so Battletech is definitely something I want to try. And I also have one of the older starter sets for Star Wars Legion, as well as a few more units, and I just saw that they kind of just updated the game and added a lot more stuff to it. Again, just like Halo, I've been a Star Wars fan since like kindergarten, like a huge Star Wars fan, and again, just like that, having it in a tabletop wargame format now is crazy to me, especially because as a kid, I loved collecting Lego, and I used to collect all the Lego clone troopers to have like a big army, but now I can do that as an adult again with this game, and I can actually play it as a game, which is so cool. So Star Wars Legion will absolutely be on this channel as well. What are some cartoon and video game inspirations for some of your paint jobs? Oh man, that's a tough one. I find my inspirations tend to show through more in my drawings and my digital art rather than my miniatures and model kits. But if I had to give an overall list of just general inspirations that inspire me creatively, here's a few. I'm gonna just speedrun them. So in terms of animated stuff, all of Gundam, Gunbuster, Bubblegum Crisis, Dungeon Meshi, Gurren Lagann, JoJo, Great Pretender, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Soul Eater. And for video games, Halo, any From Software game, pretty much all of Pokemon, but especially the more retro ones, Alien Isolation, and Iron Lung. Congrats on hitting 1K, super awesome, and you totally deserve it. Thank you so much. And question is, not a question, let me see the death card. Ask and you shall receive. Unfortunately, a lot of it isn't painted. I feel like before I started doing the YouTube channel, I was slacking on painting, so a lot of the army is still gray. And there's also a lot of it that I don't really want to show right now because some of them are 3D printed proxies that I have bought from a few artists, and I don't really want to get them in trouble. So here they are, just blurred. But all the official stuff is here. Mortarian's like half painted, but I am considering restarting him and doing him on a video because there's a lot on this paint job that I know I can improve now. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to use this channel as an excuse to also just like plow through my backlog, because I am a little embarrassed that, you know, Death Guard is my favorite faction and my main army, yet I have like not even a quarter of it painted. Maybe a quarter, a little more than that, but I've been slacking, so this YouTube channel is a great excuse to actually paint through my backlog. And I have to do a lot of kit bashing on these guys as well, so here they are. Congrats on hitting 1K subs, and it feels like that it was achieved relatively fast. Thank you, I appreciate it. Question, I need to know, do you like tea? It's important. I do. I don't drink it very often. I'm much more of a coffee person, but every so often I do like a nice tea, especially maybe before bed. Some of those ones that help you, you know, clonk out and sleep better. And if this counts, I'm an absolute fiend for bubble tea, so I don't know if that necessarily counts, but I'll give that as my answer. What gave you the idea for your custom Space Marine chapter? Also, congrats on 1K. Thank you. It was kind of just something that came naturally over time. Originally, I wanted to do a custom Imperial Fists army, but over time that kind of molded itself into its own custom chapter, and then the Imperial Fists yellow kind of just changed to a more muted beige tan color. I also liked the idea of having like a really gothic medieval theme to the chapter. I was obsessed with knights in like medieval times as a kid, so I kind of wanted to work that kind of childhood love into this army. That was pretty fun to do. And I think the glow effects mainly just came from just loving object source lighting. I've always wanted to get really good at it, and I see some artists online that do it like so well to the point where you can't even tell it's painted. And also I think having it done for an entire army, like every single model, is something that I don't see often, so I think that would be really cool. And also just a lot of other inspirations. I've seen a lot of other cool Space Marine chapters online that have kind of given me that vibe. I'm forgetting in the moment which one specifically, but I know I have some reference photos saved somewhere. But yeah, those are probably the main inspirations. Well done on getting 1K, thank you. Question, What do you think of Zangors? This is an important question. I think they're cool. I like them. I've always been pretty interested in some of like the kind of like weirder units in 40k. Like for example, for Tau, I love Tau, but I love Kroot. I think Kroot are like the silliest thing, and I love just like funny aliens. So anytime an army kind of has something like that, I love it. I kind of wish some of my armies had those. Like Death Guard don't really have it. I guess you have like the demons, but you know, they're kind of their own thing. Even like, yeah, like World Eaters don't really have anything like that. Grey Knights don't really have anything like that. But yeah, like Tau and Thousand Suns both have like the Kroot and Zangors. But yeah, to answer, I like them. Zangors are funny. Next question is from Red Velvet. Why are you so... How about we answer this in person? Hello.
Hi, buddy. Hi, Plaid.
Hello.
The
Hello.
Plaid art.
Yes, the John Platt. What the fuck? That's me. How the fuck have that?
How do I have that? What do you mean?
Oh, dude.
Bro, I'm good at my job. What are you talking about?
I thought I had the one up on you calling you on stream, and this fucking guy's got my PNG like stashed on his PC already.
No, it's just Fugi.
That's crazy.
I've got Fugi ready to go at all times.
Oh, fuck. That's funny. Okay.
I thought you said, oh, fuck, that's me, to me calling you Plaid art. I'm like, yeah, no shit, dude. What do you...
I mean, that too. So you, why am I so damn handsome?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna flip the Q&A to you. I want to know, why do you think I'm so damn handsome?
Why, what, Well, boy, you're really putting me on the spot. I think you're an attractive guy with that like nice handsome Italiano like mafia look going for him. It's the long hair, it's a sexy beard, bro, that chest hair. Woof. Chad is now 18. Chad is 18 plus. Yeah, we're getting spicy. Your attractive parents popped out a very attractive byproduct. Kudos to them.
Ugh. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Of course.
I got more than I bargained for. That's the question.
Love you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Love you too, buddy. All right. Enjoy your ball stream.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go edit. Adios.
Bye. Plaid art, everybody. Plaid art. Give it up for Plaid art.
All right. Now for the rest of your question. What was your first jump into your hobby of Gunpla and 40k? Gundam was mainly just me being a huge weeb in high school and then being like... Actually, no, I have a friend that was into Gundam before I was. And I'd always see him build his kits, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but I haven't watched the anime. So I started watching the anime just so I could be like, all right, now I can buy the model kits. Which I did, and now I not only love the model kits, but I have watched basically all of Gundam, at least the main timeline. And Witch from Mercury. Witch from Mercury is peak. But yeah, so that's kind of how I started with Gundam, just love of anime and mechs and just sci-fi in general. 40k was just kind of like a long, like, slow gaslight over the course of my life. When I was a kid, my local mall used to have a Warhammer shop in there, back when it used to just be called Games Workshop. And then I always used to go in and be like, oh, look at all the cool knights and, you know, this and that. This would have been like, oh shit, how old was I? This would have been in like 2005 or something. So I was like 8 or like 7. I was pretty young. And then, yeah, just over the course of my life, I kind of learned more about it. And then it wasn't until college where, like, I saw the models and I started watching YouTubers paint Warhammer just through watching Gundam stuff. And that kind of just moved me along into it. And that's kind of how I got into it. All right. That seems to be all the questions. Thanks again to everyone who left a question for the Q&A. These are really fun to record, so I'll definitely be doing more of them in the future. Again, I also want to thank you guys for all the love and support that I've had on the channel so far. I used to do a bit of YouTube as a kid making Lego stop motion, so going back to doing YouTube again just kind of feels right. I'm sure child me would be super happy to see this. Seeing this channel sort of boom up to 1,000 subscribers this quickly has given me so much confidence to keep going. And honestly, this is the most excited I've felt about being creative in so long. I sort of overworked myself doing art and commissions the past few years that I burnt myself out, and really to the point where I almost ruined my relationship with drawing. But doing this has been a nice change of pace for me, and I think it's a good way to kind of let myself draw more as a hobby behind the scenes and kind of repair that relationship with it. So again, thank you. I promise I'll have more content for everyone soon. Also, like I said earlier, the other 1,000 subscriber special will be out likely by the end of this month or the beginning of September. That'll be the Loyalist Emperor's Children video that you guys voted on. I also have a Dreadnought video in the works as well for my Space Marines. That most likely won't come out until after the Emperor's Children one, but I'm just teasing it for you guys. I have a lot more ideas planned out for the rest of the year, so stay tuned for those. Alright, and just like that, this video's come to an end. Just want to give you guys a huge thank you once again, and hope you tune in for the next one. This has been Plaid Hobbies, thank you for watching, have a good night, and I'll see you in the next episode.
New Warhammer toys from Hasbro. Goblins and Mind Dogs. Check out this pair of hooligans. They're standing on each other, ready to shoot. Mind Dog checks out the scene. Careful, Fido. Looks like Mind Dog's wanting to set us up the bomb. Take aim now.
Yeah, good position, boss. You're put out of my round.
Look out, Gobbos. There's a Space Marine. Roll the battle dice.
Oh, my larynx.
Mind Dog's in for cleanup duty.
Go.
Goblins of Warhammer 40k. Commit war crimes in style. New set on sale now.
And now, folks, we thank you for joining us tonight. We hope this evening was filled with love and entertainment, and that you happily sleep through the night and join us again tomorrow. Good night, and sleep well.